If this is your first time joining us for a breakdown, welcome. Let's jump right into it. Have you ever followed directions that led you completely off course? Maybe your GPS had not been updated, or you were using an old paper map that did not reflect the new roads, detours, or dead ends. That's the metaphor Vicki, Robin, and Joe Dominguez used to describe how most of us approach money, and your money or your life. They call it the old roadmap, a set of outdated beliefs and assumptions that shape how we earn, spend, and think about money. This first segment of the book doesn't dive into budgets or spreadsheets. Instead, it zooms out to help you question the path you've been following and whether it's taking you where you truly want to go. First up, what is the old roadmap? The old roadmap is the unconscious financial blueprint we inherit from society, media, culture, and sometimes even our families. It tells us things like your job defines your worth. What you do for a living isn't just your income source, it's your identity. Money solves everything. More money will fix your relationships, your health, your time problems, and your future. These beliefs aren't usually examined. They're like background software running in our heads, silently shaping how we spend our days and make our decisions. But here's the catch. This map is outdated. It was built for a different time, one where job security was stronger, community bonds were tighter, and consumption hadn't ballooned into an endless chase. Why is this a problem? The old roadmap might have worked for our grandparents or parents, but for many of us today, it's leading to burnout, debt, and a sense of emptiness. We spend years climbing a career ladder only to find it's leaning against the wrong wall. We trade our time for money, but we're too exhausted or distracted to enjoy the life that money is supposed to support. We constantly feel behind, like there's always more to earn, buy, or prove. The result is we're financially stretched, emotionally drained, and spiritually disconnected. Robin and Dominguez argue that this isn't a personal failing. It's a navigational issue. We're not flawed. We're just following a flawed map. Time is money, literally. One of the key ideas introduced early on is that we not just spending money, we spending life energy. Every dollar you earn costs you time, energy, and effort. When you buy something, you're essentially exchanging a portion of your life for it. Yet, we rarely make those purchases with that in mind. We buy impulsively, fill our homes with clutter, and rarely pause to ask, is this worth the time I traded to get it? The old roadmap never taught us to make that connection. It tells us to earn more so we can spend more, and spend more so we can feel successful. But when we finally stop and assess whether that's working, many of us find that it's not. The turning point, segment 1 of Your Money or Your Life, is less about giving answers and more about waking us up to the questions we've been avoiding. Questions like, asterisk, what does enough look like for me? Am I spending my time in ways that align with my values? These questions can be uncomfortable, but they're also liberating. They offer the chance to step off the hamster wheel and start moving toward a life that's not just richer financially, but richer in meaning and purpose. Looking ahead, this book isn't about judgment or guilt, it's about awareness and choice. Before we can change our financial lives, we have to understand how we got here. And that means examining the roadmap we've been handed. Segment 1 is the invitation to pause and ask, is this map working for me? If not, it might be time to fold it up and start drawing a new one built on clarity, intention, and values that actually align with the life you want to live. Because when your money choices are in sync with your life's purpose, that's when real freedom begins. Most of us don't wake up one day and declare, I'm trapped by money. Instead, we slowly slide into the trap often without realizing it. We're working harder, spending more, and yet feeling less satisfied. If you've ever thought, why am I always broke, even though I earn well? Or is this all there is? You might be caught in what Vicki, Robin, and Joe Dominguez call the money trap. In segment 2 of Your Money or Your Life, the authors help us recognize the warning signs before you can change your financial life. You have to see clearly where you are. This segment is all about that moment of realization, the quiet aha. When you recognize the trap hand, start looking for a way out. What is the money trap? The money trap isn't just about debt or poverty. It's not exclusive to people struggling to pay the bills. In fact, many people caught in it are earning good money, but they still feel like they barely keeping up. At its core, the money trap is a cycle of working, spending, and dissatisfaction that leaves you feeling stuck. You might be doing what society told you would bring happiness, getting promoted, grading your lifestyle, staying busy, but deep down, something feels off. You're caught in the belief that more is the answer, yet more never seems to be enough. 7 signs you might be in the money trap. Robin and Dominguez outline several clues that indicate you're trapped in this cycle. Here are some key signs. 1. You live paycheck to paycheck, no matter what you earn. It doesn't matter if you be making $30,000 or $130,000 if every dollar you earn disappears by the end of the month. That's a red flag. Increasing income doesn't solve the problem if your spending grows with it. 2. You have nothing to show for years of work. You've been working for a decade or more, but your net worth hasn't changed too much. Despite all the effort, there's no cushion, no real sense of security, just bills, debt, and more obligations. 3. You're addicted to spending or shopping, whether it's daily lattes, it's online cards, or weekend splurges. You find comfort in buying, but it's temporary. Often, the purchase high is followed by guilt, clutter, or regret. 4. You're in detand. It feels normal. Car loans, credit cards, student loans debt is so common it barely registers as a problem. But deep down, it weighs on you. You're working to pay for things you've already consumed. 5. You're always busy, but still unsatisfied work fills your time. So the errands, side hustles, chores, and keeping up. But despite the constant motion, you rarely feel peace or contentment. Life feels like a race with no finish line. 6. You've lost sight of what truly matters. Maybe you used to dream about writing a book, traveling, volunteering, or spending more time with family. But those dreams feel like luxuries, now something for someday, if ever. 7. You ask, is this all there is? This is perhaps the most powerful sign. Even if everything looks good on the outside, a decent job, nice car, respectable home, you feel a quiet discontent. The question lingers, is this really what life is about? Why this matters, recognizing these signs, is the first and hardest step toward change. No one likes to admit they're stuck, but this segment offers a powerful truth. If you can name the trap, you can escape it. Robin and Dominguez don't judge or shame. They offer a compassionate mirror. The money trap is common, and it's not a personal failure. It's the result of following that old roadmap we talked about earlier, the one that says more work and more consumption will make us happy. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. The hidden cost of staying in the trap when you're in the money trap. The true cost isn't just financial, it's the time you'll never get back. The dreams that sit on the shelf. The relationships that get the leftovers of your energy. The version of yourself that you know exists but doesn't have space to breathe. The authors push us to realize we're not just spending money, we're spending our lives. And until we stop and evaluate that trade-off, we'll stay stuck. What comes next? Segment 2 ends not with a solution, but with a sense of urgency. It sets the stage for change by holding up a mirror and asking, is this the life I want to keep living? The next steps in your money or your life offer tools to measure the real cost of your work. Track spending with intention and align your money habits with your deeper values. But none of that matters until you realize that something's not working. If you saw yourself in any of those signs above, take heart. You're not alone, and you're not broken. You're just ready for a new way. And that's exactly what this journey is all about. When we talk about money, we often think in numbers, salary, bills, savings, goals. but in your money or your life. Vicki, Robin, and Joe Dominguez challenge us to think about money in a more personal, more powerful way, as life energy. In segment 3 of the book, they introduce a concept that can completely change your relationship with money and, more importantly, how you spend your time. It's simple, but transformative. Money is something you trade your life energy for. Let's break that down and see what it really means. Life energy, the real currency. Every time you go to work, whether you love your job or not, you're trading something precious: your time, your focus, your health. These resources are limited. You can't earn back a lost hour or a drained day. Robin and Dominguez argue that the true cost of anything isn't measured in dollars, it's measured in the time and energy you spent earning those dollars. So, if you make $30 an hour and you buy a $60 shirt, it's not just $60. It's 2 hours of your life, plus the energy and time you never get back. And that's assuming your $30 an hour is what you actually take home after taxes, work-related expenses, and stress. Step 1. Calculate your real hourly wage to understand life energy. You need to figure out your true hourly wage, not just what your paycheck says, but what you earn after subtracting all the hidden costs of working. The book walks you through a simple but eye-opening calculation. Here's how it works. Start with your total monthly income. Subtract all the expenses directly tied to your job. These might include commuting, work clothes, meals, eating out because of work, childcare while you're at work, stress relief, spending. Add in the time you spend on work-related activities. Your 40-hour work week might actually look like 60+ hours when you include commute time, unpaid overtime, getting ready in the morning, unwinding after work time spent decompressing from work stress. Divide your adjusted monthly income by your total monthly work-related hours. The result is your real hourly wage, what you truly earn for every hour of life energy you give up. For many people, this number is shockingly lower than they expected. It's not uncommon for someone with a $75,000 salary to discover they're effectively making $10, $2, $15 an hour once all the hidden costs are added in. Why this matters. Once you understand your real hourly wage, you can start evaluating your purchases in a much deeper way. Every expense becomes a question. Is this coffee worth 15 minutes of my life? Would I spend 2 hours of my energy on this pair of shoes? Is this vacation worth the 100+ hours I worked to afford it? This isn't about guilt, it's about consciousness. When you look at your spending through the lens of life energy, you naturally start making more thoughtful, intentional decisions. You begin to separate needs from wants and joyful spending from mindless consumption. It's a new kind of freedom. This concept also opens the door to something most of us crave: freedom. If money equals life energy, then saving money isn't just about building a bank account, it's about reclaiming your time. Every dollar you don't spend is a little piece of life energy you hold on to. Over time, those small savings add up to freedom from financial stress, freedom from dependence on a job, and eventually, the freedom to live life on your own terms. By seeing money not as an end, but as a means to live a meaningful life, you're no longer trapped in the earn, spend, repeat cycle. You're in the driver's seat, choosing what truly matters. Putting it into practice to wrap up segment 3, the author suggests making this a daily habit. Every time you buy something, pause and ask, how many hours of my life is this worth? It's a small shift in thinking, but over time, it builds a new foundation for financial clarity and purpose. Final thoughts. Segment 3 of Your Money or Your Life is one of the most powerful parts of the book. It takes money out of the abstract and brings it into direct connection with your lived experience. You're not just trading dollars, you're trading your life. And once you start to see that clearly, everything changes. So the next time you reach for your wallet, ask yourself, is this how I want to spend my life energy? Because your money is your life, literally. By the time you reach segment 4 of Your Money or Your Life, You've already been challenged to rethink almost everything you've ever believed about money. You've uncovered the hidden flaws in the old roadmap. You've learned how to calculate your real hourly wage. And you've begun to see money as a representation of your life energy. Now it's time for the real turning point, the new roadmap. This isn't just a change in budgeting or goal setting. It's a full-on mindset shift. It's the difference between being a consumer and becoming a conscious creator of your life. The old roadmap versus the new roadmap. Let's quickly review what the old roadmap told us. Work more to earn more. Spend more to feel successful. Let your job define your identity. Keep striving because more equals happiness. The new roadmap says, hold on what if the goal isn't more, but enough? What if fulfillment doesn't come from spending, but from aligning your money with your values? It's a radical shift that doesn't just impact your finances. It transforms your relationship with time, work, and meaning. The core principle, fulfillment over accumulation, at the heart of the new roadmap is this powerful idea. You achieve true financial independence, not when you have more, but when you need less to be satisfied. In a culture that constantly tells us to level up, bigger house, nicer car, better vacations, this can feel counterintuitive. But Robin and Dominguez argue that when you focus on what truly brings you value, it's clarity and joy, you start to spend more consciously and you need less to feel rich. The new roadmap encourages you to question every expense. Does this really bring me joy? Is it worth the life energy I traded for it? Track your money with purpose, not just to see where it goes, but to evaluate how well it reflects your values. Pursue enough, not excess, because enough brings peace and excess often brings stress. Mindful spending equals empowered living. One of the biggest benefits of this mindset shift is that it brings awareness back into your financial life. When you start to ask, is this worth it? Not just in dollars, but in hours of your life, you begin to spend differently. You start to buy less out of impulse, invest more in experiences than in stuff. Say no to things that drain your time, energy, or wallet. This doesn't mean deprivation. On the contrary, it leads to greater satisfaction because you are no longer chasing someone else's version of success. You redefining your own. Redefining work and worth, the new roadmap also redefines what work means. In the old roadmap, your job is everything. It gives you income, identity, structure, even social status. But under the new roadmap, work becomes just one part of a meaningful life with the center of it. You begin to ask, is my work aligned with my purpose? Am I trading too much of my life energy for money? Could I work less and still live fully? This shift opens the door to alternative paths, downsizing, freelancing, simplifying, or even reaching financial independence sooner by needing less. Your money equals your life story ultimately. The new roadmap is an invitation to become the author of your financial life. Instead of reacting to bills, advertising, and cultural pressure, you get to choose. What do I value most? What kind of life do I want to build? Okay, how can I use my money and my time to support that vision? When money stops being the goal and starts becoming a tool for meaning, your whole relationship with it changes. You stop measuring success by your net worth and start measuring it by your quality of life. What this looks like in practice, living by the new roadmap, might look like downsizing your lifestyle to upsize your freedom. It's choosing a lower paying job that gives you more time with your family. Building a savings buffer so you can take creative risks or career breaks. Saying no to debt-fueled consumerism and yes to simplicity. It's not always easy, and it definitely goes against the grain of what we've been taught, okay? But the reward is freedom. Not just financial freedom, but freedom of choice, purpose, and peace. Final thought. Draw your own map. Segment 4 of your money or your life is a turning point. It's where you stop following the path someone else laid out for you and start creating your own. It asks you to look inward, get honest, and decide what matters most, then build your money life around that. Because once you realize that your money is your life energy, the way you spend, save, and work will never be the same.